Hi guys, Jason Smith here, welcome to the AskGolfNut channel. So today may well be the most important review I've ever done. Why is it important? Well, the way this golf club is designed proves to change the way golf clubs are designed and made going forward, and also one very important thing, how you are custom fitted. Where before you were custom fitted on whatever head model you want and lie and loft, and importantly obviously the shaft and grip, now I have in my hands the Cobra Limit 3D, or limited, play on words, iron, which is 3D printed. 3D printed material is lighter than the metal they're making it from normally, which allows them to make the internals massively lighter so they can use the weight where they want it, low and down in the toe and the heel with the amount of tungsten they have. And that allows this thing to be potentially more forgiving. Now, Cobra is saying that this has got game improvement level forgiveness, but in a player's look. It does look really nice. Top lines on this are really quite nice and thin. I would not say they're thin like a blade, but definitely thin to medium. Sole thickness on this one, I would say, if you know the King Tour, the Cobra King Tour, this is basically a carbon copy of that. So sole thicknesses are medium. Blade lengths are just lovely. I like the fact that Cobras generally are quite stocky. They're not massive in their blade size. It just does look a really nice looking golf club. Down by the golf ball, again, you've got a certain amount of offset there, but it's relatively small. It does look a really nice looking golf club. This is 31 degrees of loft. These are not the strongest or the weakest on. There's about 1 degree or so stronger than the King Tours. And so this golf club proving to be, with all the tungsten in there, one of the most forgiving irons out there. It'd be really interesting to see how well this does. I'm going to be testing this at 70, 80 and 90 miles an hour like I do all of the irons and golf clubs that I test. And I'll also be doing the new heat map testing where I basically hit this from all over the face, some interesting parts, to understand exactly how much drop off you get when you don't hit the middle and test out that tungsten in there. They've got about 100 grams of tungsten, give or take. It moves around the set. I think there's a little bit more in the 9 to pitching wedge and it moves around, but I'll stick up on the screen there so you can see how much tungsten it has in the golf clubs at Watt Loft. But we are at a hole, you can see here, where it is full on carry. If you miss this in any way, shape or form, we are going in the drink. And as you can see, the pin is right at the front. Let's go give this one a hit because again, 3D printed metal shell. Let's see how this feels. Face fractionally open, but pretty darn decent hit. Just gonna make the carry. Pin high carry that one. Path 1 degree from the inside, face was 0 to that. That's right, I just pushed it rather than face open. 7 mil low, 2 mil toe, so just slightly low on the face. The tungsten on this golf club is very much so toe and heel, so it'll be interesting to see how the MOI stacks up for forgiveness. But 37 yards in the air and 49 degrees ascent angle, 175. Basically doing every single thing that I would expect a 31 degree lofted 7-iron to do. Now, one thing I've noticed by hitting this before, turn the cameras on recording, I've been hitting some obviously to warm up, and the consistency of spin on this is ridiculously good. Now, consistency of spin, guys, so when it comes to you hitting shots into a green, don't necessarily think about having loads and loads of spin on your 7-iron or your 6-iron. That is not there to stop the golf ball. Spin consistency is there for consistency of distance. So if you have a golf club which is moving around the spin constantly, just having a small difference in strike and it's chucking weird spin numbers in, you're going to get weird distances. But this is one of the most consistent golf clubs I have ever hit. Let's get the elephant out of the room, because it's a big elephant and it's the price. This thing is ridiculously expensive. At the moment, it is limited as well, or Limit 3D. And so it will be expensive, yes. There are golf clubs out there which are as expensive as this, give or take. You've got Muras, they're not exactly what you call cheap, and people still do buy them. These will only get cheaper as time goes on. But I think this is the way forward for golf club manufacturers. The possibilities that a golf manufacturer has got with the design of the internals of what 3D print process, it's just crazy of what they could potentially do. You could absolutely custom fit a head specifically for what you need. Feels lovely, it really does. Again, pin high carry, yep. Path 0.4 from the inside, face baby open that time it was. That's why it went to the right by 5 yards. But we are talking 0 mil toe, 6 mil low, still slightly low on the face, 36 yards in the air and 48 degrees descent angle 175. Again, I have picked a hole which is very, very difficult for me to hit target because again, I cannot be short at all. And if I am, I'm in the drink. Feeling of this, now I've hit 2 shots slightly low on the face, so it does feel a fraction crisper whenever you catch it slightly low, but this feels, does it feel like a blade? No, it doesn't. It is slightly crisper than that, but considering the amount of tungsten they've got in there, considering this is lattice work on the back, and it does look pretty darn nice. I really like the plain looks of this. I really like the fact that Cobra have not just stamped and written every single thing they possibly could do. It's just got a basic Cobra and it's got a basic Limit 3D on it, and that is it. I could absolutely game a set of these if I had a second job. It's just lovely. It's just lovely, carrying just past pin high, but it's really good. Club path 1 degree from the inside, face to path 0.5 close, that's why I had a little baby draw. 3 mil heel, 3 mil low, very good strike, single digit miss, and 38 yards in the air, 49 degrees descent angle, doing really quite well. I do like this golf club, I really do. Initially I was all for hating it because I just disagree massively with any company making a golf club this expensive as a general rule. However, this is a proof of concept. It is not something, hopefully, which is going to continue on going forward. This is possibly the most expensive it's ever going to be because of that proof of concept, and it works. The concept works. It feels good, it performs well, and the possibilities that this golf club has over other golf clubs, because of the way that you can move the tungsten in the head, because of that lattice work, you can actually get one 3D printed to your exact needs. I think it's an amazing thing, I really do. Cobra, you have done very, very well. Looking forward to hitting it at 70, 80, 90 miles an hour. Let's see what happens when you take the speed away. Little baby pull. But I cannot complain at all. It's just doing really well. Every single one of those shots I'd be happy with. Club path 0.4 from the inside, face baby close 1.3, that's why it's going to the left. That's my fault, not the golf club's. 4 mil toe, 6 mil low again, so again slightly low on the face, but that's safe, absolutely. 36 yards in the air, 48.2 degrees descent angle 178. It's just working so well. One more shot and I'm going to be hitting this all over the face, because with that tungsten in there, this possibly is as forgiving as a game improvement iron, but it does very much so look like a player's iron. So any golfer could play this. There's no handicap necessarily that's tailored towards this kind of golf club. Any handicap could potentially play this. Right, one last one. I'm going to give it a whack on how many times to see how forgiving it is. What a block to finish. Just felt blocky. But again, carrying just past pin high, very, very good. Club path 0.3 from the inside, faces open. That's my fault, not the golf club's. 4 mil low, 0 mil toe. So again, fractionally low. I mean, that's such a good strike, really. 37.3 yards in the air and 49 degrees descent angle, 176, working very, very well. I'm excited by the different things that Cobra can do with this iron. This is the first iteration, this is the proof of concept. And so going forward, we could be seeing golf clubs designed specifically for different golfers, same head design, different internals that could really make a difference to your custom fitting experience. So, right, let's go whack this a load of times, heel, toe, high, low, all those wonderful spots that we do hit it from time to time. Let's also test this at 70, 80 and also 90 miles an hour to see how well it works when you start taking some speed away. So let's go see how well the Cobra Limit 3D irons get on. All the shots now hit with the Cobra Limit 3D limited irons, the 70, 80 and 90 miles an hour swing speed captured, and also the forgiveness data. My new way of capturing is a iron heat map, so you can see visually how forgiving a golf club is or not. And I've got a couple other ones to compare it to as well. That'll be just after we look at all the numbers. So on the screen, you can see we've got the red, the yellow and the blue. The red is 70 miles an hour, the yellow is 80 miles an hour, and the blue is 90 miles an hour. We'll do the ball data first. We'll look at the club head data in a sec. But if you look at the ball speed, 96, 108, 122. Again, no surprise. Obviously, ball speed goes up when you swing a bit faster. That's no surprise. Look at the launch. We've got 19.9, so 20 degrees, 20 degrees, and 20 degrees. So within 0.3 of a degree, they all launch exactly the same, and that's no surprise because launch doesn't change if you add speed. Only dynamic loft would, and angle of attack to a certain extent, would actually affect the launch. What does change though is the spin. You've got 4,200, 4,900 and 5,600 if we were averaging and rounding them all off. What I'm really impressed about is the standard deviation of the spin. Considering, especially on the 90 mile an hour shots, there's some mishits in there as well, which we'll get to in a sec. You can see the standard deviation of the spin is just ridiculously good. And this is one of the things I'm really impressed about this iron. I'm really impressed about this iron about a lot of things, but the standard deviation of spin is incredibly good. Let's have a look at the 70 miles an hour swing speed first. Look at the carry, 132 yards, peaking up at 21 yards in the air and descending at 39.7. So it's okay. I will say this about the Cobra Limit 3D irons, is that would I suggest that this is a golf club to be used by a slow-ish swinging golfer? No. Even though it's got a mass amount of tungsten in the bottom, which helps its forgiveness a lot, and we'll get to that in a second, it doesn't necessarily go massively long, it doesn't necessarily go massively high, and it doesn't actually get the ball stopping massively quick. That is for a 70 miles an hour swing speed, guys. So no, I wouldn't suggest it for a 70 miles an hour because 21 yards in the air and sub 40 degrees, which means effectively you're going to have to be playing golf on very soft greens with this 7-iron to guarantee it stopping. And again, if you get in the summer, they harden up, that's just going to shoot straight out of the back. You go to 80 miles an hour though, the yellow, 154 yards carry, 29 now yards in the air, and 45.1 degrees descent angle. Absolutely, no problem whatsoever, and obviously 45 degrees. We can have the conversation absolutely about the 6-iron. Would I go 5-iron at this speed? Probably not. I'd move into some form of hybrid or high lofted fairway wood or something like that to get that descent angle. Definitely past 40 degrees going into a green. As soon as you go into 90 miles an hour, though, 174 yards carry, 38 yards in the air, and basically 50 degrees descent angle, absolutely, you can play whatever you really want. Would I even go with a 4-iron on this? I don't know. When you go to 7-irons, you're looking at 6-iron would be around about 46, 47, 5-iron. I mean, you possibly could do. It'd be interesting to see, but I mean, you'd have to do it with your own delivery, etc. This is just my delivery. Talking about delivery, we have clubhead speeds of 70.4, 80.3 and 90.7. So within 0.3 or so of a mile an hour, 0.4, we have 10 miles an hour gap between the lots. Efficiency is 1.36, 1.35, 1.35. Efficiency is a measure of bang for your buck. How fast is that face? For whatever clubhead speed you put in, what ball speed do you get out? To attack angles all within 0.6 of a degree, and everything else within reason is very, very close. If you look at the loft, 26.7, 27 and 27.1. So within 0.4 of a degree, all three data sets, all three speeds are within 0.4 of a degree of loft, and you've got my strike on there as well. So quickly go over to the ball and club compare. You can see, because it's a visual thing, obviously that the information you can see on the screen there in a visual way is exactly what the tabular format we've just been talking about. Some people find it easier to be looking at pictures rather than looking at streams of data. Talking about pictures, let's go to the forgiveness side and let's go look at the brand new way of seeing how a golf club works when you don't hit the middle, how it reacts and how forgiving and how efficient it is from weird and wonderful parts of the face. To do that, first of all, we need to know how well it works out the middle. I have got a zero capture here within 2 millimeters, but we've got 2 mil low, 0 mil toe, so fairly middle. We have path and face very 0, 0, and 27 degrees of loft, 27.2 at 1.36. So within reason, unless you start de-lofting this golf club, 1.36 is the maximum efficiency you're going to get from this golf club. Now, when you don't hit the middle, imagine you just keep the delivery exactly the same as your normal delivery and you don't hit the middle, you will get a certain amount of drop off. And the more forgiving a golf club is, you get less drop off. This is a heat map of the face. Now, very, very quickly, if you look at the very, very top, you've got a 0 in the middle, going all the way onto the left-hand side, which is the toe side at 22 millimeters. Every single block is 1 millimeter. And then on the right-hand side, you've got -22. That's the heel side. And of course, on the left-hand side, it's going up and down. You've got +22, -22. That is the millimeters. And obviously, that blue line there dictates turf interaction line. Now, you can hit 0, 0, lovely on the face. And if you hit slightly higher in the face, you'll get away with it to a certain point, but there'll come a point around about the 5 to 6 mil definitely where you start hitting the ball slightly higher in the face. That effectively means you're going to be hitting the ground before the golf ball, turf interaction line, and effectively that means you are going to be hitting a little bit chunky, fat, whatever word you want to use, which means ball second, terra firma, as in the earth first, and so you get cushioning and you get drop off, etc. And obviously the information you can see there is if you want a tee, obviously on a tee, the ball's off the floor and you can hit slightly higher on the face. Generally speaking, most golf clubs, as soon as you hit high on the face, you'll get a larger drop off than you do from the bottom of the face. And if you look at this face, basically green is good and red is bad, and apart from the very extremes, it's very green or yellow, which in golf club terms is really very, very good. It's one of the most forgiving faces that I have ever seen. It is just very, very good. Why is it important? So if we put this into perspective of an actual hole, so for an 80 miles an hour swing speed player hitting this 7-iron around about 155 yards, this is a hole that you're going to be doing a forced carry. Obviously it's an imaginary hole, but it's great to understand that if you start hitting some weird and wonderful parts, you get drop off, and in this drop off it means going in the drink. And you can see by the previous heat map that unless you're going to hit some really weird and wonderful parts, you are going to be making the carry, and you can hit this golf club some interesting parts and still make the front edge of the green. Now, I've put that heat map that you saw there into an iron, what it looks like on the face, and you can see obviously the red all around the outside is not very good whatsoever, but there is a lot of green on that face. This Cobra Limit 3D Limited iron is very, very forgiving considering it's not the biggest golf club in the world. That red band there, just to let you know guys, that red band's around about 20 millimeters or so away from geometric middle, and that red band denotes if you're going to hit it there, unfortunately there is going to be a certain amount of hosel interaction. Of course, there's only a certain amount you can move the golf ball into the heel of the golf club before you hit the hosel, and of course 20, 21 millimeters that's when you're going to start getting that golf ball shooting out. So right, so it doesn't matter how springy the manufacturers make the face, you hit it there, it's going off to the right. So that's what that red band's there for, but it's doing very, very well. If I was to put this up against another manufacturer's golf club, I won't say who, again, this is not pointing fingers or anything else like that. You can see, if I flick between the two, you can see the distinct difference in the amount of green and the amount of yellow before it goes into the red. So this Cobra Limit 3D iron is distinctly more forgiving. So my conclusion when it comes to the new Cobra Limit 3D limited irons is I'm amazed by it. One, it works extremely well. Would I put this in a slow swing speed player's hands? Absolutely not. It does not suit that slow swings, but you'd have to go to another golf club if you are swinging 70 miles an hour and you want a 7-iron to be functional. There are ones out there, it's just not this. However, what Cobra have done, and this has been in the making for a couple of years, what Cobra have done is potentially just revolutionize the way golf clubs are made, the way golf clubs are designed, and the way that golf clubs are custom fitted to you. The reason why there's only very few limited available is purely because I believe of the time it takes them to construct it. 3D printing is not as fast as a Japanese manufacturer from a forging point of view. Bang, bang, bang on the forge press, off it goes, next one please. Where this one does take a little bit longer for production. However, what it does do, which is an amazing thing for custom fitting, is gone are the days potentially where the only way you can get custom fit into an iron model is by changing its loft slightly, changing its lie slightly, and by putting your custom fit shaft in. You now can get heads specifically made for what you require within your custom fit. Now, of course, that may have a lead time attached to it of how long it takes for golf clubs to be designed and then obviously created and printed, etc. for you. The feel of it is actually really quite good. I'm very, very impressed on how I've never hit a 3D printed iron before, and so I was expecting it to feel a little bit plasticky and stuff, but it feels really quite good. Performance, Apart from the 70 miles an hour swing, the slower swing speed, it works just very, very well. Its retention of spin is very, very good from its point of view of its consistency, which is great for distance control. These irons are very, very consistent, and I would absolutely game a set of these. And forgiveness. Cobra's most forgiving irons they've ever made, and also this is their first attempt at making a 3D printed iron. All manufacturers, you really need to be listening and seeing what Cobra have done, and really be thinking going forward about how you can jump on the bandwagon of this, because I really honestly think within a very certain short-ish amount of time, there is a lot more of this 3D printing idea going to go along, and the benefits of custom fitting and getting something specifically personalized and made for you and your game with your delivery is just amazing. So hope you liked the video. If you did, go on, thumbs up, hit the like button. YouTube likes, so do I. Down there is a subscribe button. It's free. It is great for the channel if you could subscribe, so thank you. And next to that is a bell icon. That's a notification bell. If you click that one, that will let you know next time I upload another video. Hope you're well. See you again soon.